All right, guys, you already know what it is. Vaughn, aka Tough, Franzo, here for another episode of the Laymans Project. And Franz is going to introduce our terrific guest. Take it away.
Welcome back to another meeting of the Hair Club for Men. Just sharp ball-head man. Anyway, Kenneth Bishop, aka Ironman, aka the Ageless Warrior, is a celebrated martial artist with decades of experience. Beginning martial arts at 5 years old, Kenneth has trained and competed in karate, kickboxing, boxing, and MMA, as well as traveling to study BJJ in France and Muay Thai in Thailand. His accolades include, among other things, Pan American kickboxing champion and a Muay Thai title in Aruba. Now at 50 years of age, he has opened his own martial arts school in Trinidad called Thai Warriors, where he trains and inspires the next generation of local fighters. Ironman, welcome to the Laymans Project.
Okay, guys, let me tell you all something about Fluke Designs. Today's sponsor will allow you to furnish your home with cabinetry and countertops. Their professional designs provide various options, allowing you to seamlessly integrate appliances into your living space. You can also have hurricane impact windows and doors designed and built with laminated glass. You guys can check them out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. They provide free video chat consultations with their designer, or a site visit can be arranged. In case you'd like to book an appointment, please call or WhatsApp 388-5279. That's 388-5279. And don't forget to use promo code Laymans to save 5% on your order. Fluke Designs. You dream, we design, and build. 50 years old, they say there, no?
Yeah, ageless Wonder Woman.
All right, kudos, man. Kudos. You're looking good. So, I guess we could just cut right to the chase.
Well, where I wanted to start, honestly, is so your bio reads similar to that of another friend of the show, Sensei Kerry Grant, who was on here previously. And whereas with Kerry, we focused more so on what he's done outside of competition. So the dojo that he started and his piloting career and that sort of thing. I wanted to focus on your competitive career because we didn't really get to discuss that type of thing with Kerry, but your journeys sound strikingly similar. So if you could take us as to how you started martial arts. I mean, it said 5. And then we just kind of run from there.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Well, basically, I started at age 5 and worked my way up because I had brothers who used to box and fight and different things. My father was a wrestler, and then I started with Master Richard Rodolfo, and I worked my way. I started winning all the karate competitions, kickboxing. Continuous, and it reached on to where it had nothing else for me. So Sensei Bharat Ramuta saw me in a tournament a couple of years ago. I was like about 28, somewhere around there.
That's a lot of years ago.
More than a couple
decades ago. Yeah.
A couple decades ago.
You know, it was like a couple years ago.
A couple
It's
decades
a long
ago.
time ago, man.
Yeah.
You're only looking young, you know.
Yeah, so actually he introduced me to kickboxing, but I actually went to the wrong school, which is Narish Bola in Princeton. And then came back to him, and I started to excel from there. And he asked me to try the boxing, where I started to excel in everybody's sport because I started beating everybody.
Right.
And with that now, take on Kirsten Manswell. Actually, I actually won the fight, but they actually gave him the decision, right? It was a little ticklish, but he know that he lost the fight, right?
Kirsten
Manswell know he lost
you
the
know,
fight.
yeah, oh God.
You know you lost, oh God.
Oh God.
Right? So
The Bachannal start.
actually that
This
was
is
around,
the Bachannal episode that you guys
Yeah,
were
this
waiting on.
might be some Bachannal.
All right.
that was around the time when he was supposed to fight Wilder. So you know he had to have a certain amount of fights, you know.
Slides going into it, right?
So he So they gave him the fight, no problem, you know. But I take him again in kickboxing the other day and I soften him.
Now,
you know?
by the other day, do you mean actually the other day or another couple decades ago?
No, just last year, 2023.
Okay. Yeah.
I had the Ironman event and I was supposed to fight a fighter from Jamaica called Mofat, but he didn't come, so I had to take a fight at the time, which was Manswell. Manswell stepped up to the plate, so I ended up softening Manswell, you know, so.
Well, it sounds like he stepped up fairly last minute though, so I mean,
Well,
respect for that.
big respect to him, you know, so, but,
I just, because remember, now everybody watching the show might not be from Trinidad or whatever. When he says soften him, he mean like, you know, dust out, you know,
Well, they
he
wouldn't know what
cooked
dust
him.
out mean either.
No, that's what I'm saying, so running through the
Running through the
vernacular.
euphemisms, right, okay.
So he cooked him, smoked him, you know, beat him up. Yeah.
marinate him, all kind of
He marinate him because smoked is like, that is properly cooked. You might have a light steam, you might have a scramble, you know what I mean? Smoked is, marinate is like soaking, soften him up proper.
That is
some salt and pepper, you know. Actually, in the boxing, when I was supposed to fight him, I actually came out a bottle of baby food called Gerber. And I was showing them, I said,
I had to watch your fight, dog. You sound like
this is
my kind of fighter.
this is how I'll beat Manswell, like baby food Gerber, you know.
Soft like a lotion.
You know? So, and then so I went on to starting doing MMA. So when I went to France, I actually studied under Francisco Nanato, that's one of Royce Gracie's students, and Singh Paiboon from Thailand. So when I came back in 2007, I started MMA, which I started the school called Thai Warriors. And from there, I started excelling, beating everybody. Nobody couldn't stop me, you know. So I just ended up undefeated, you know. So
now you glossed over a lot of history there, and you called some important names. So Bharat Ramuta, I'm familiar with. He is part of the Trinidad and Tobago Kickboxing Association. Because I actually did a kickboxing judges course where he was running it. So he is like foundation level.
yeah, he's actually one of
martial
the
arts
best
in
kickboxing
Trinidad.
coaches that it
Correct.
has, yeah.
The gentleman from France, you said, is a student of Royce Gracie.
Yeah.
The Gracie family, of course, being the pioneers of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I mean, your lineage is pretty impressive. And
I guess
so,
that's why I never lost.
well, I mean, he had some losses. So the Manswell
What?
the Manswell decision didn't go your way. I know that you also had as we mentioned Kerry. Kerry is one of the coaches for a UFC fighter now, Jairzinho Rosenstrike, who we mentioned in Kerry's episode, Biggie Boy, and you actually fought Biggie in a
actually fought
kickboxing
Big,
fight.
yeah.
How did that come about? How did it go?
Well, actually, with the Biggie Boy fight, I was supposed to lose. It was supposed to be an even match, which is 220. I was 265 at the time, and I had at least a month or so to lose that weight. So I was actually kind of weak for it, but I still, you know, but
Yeah, because to cut 40 pounds is
it's a lot of weight.
In
Yeah.
a month and a half.
in a month. That's
mad, see.
brutal.
And then when I reached the Suriname, only to realize that Biggie Boy was actually 265. So it was like a 40-pound difference.
And you cut 40 in a
40
month,
pounds,
so yeah. I mean, I know about like how dread cutting like that. I just feel like if you're in a completely different body.
Yeah. And I saw that fight in researching for this interview, and it really you did look pretty undersized, but I just thought that you just kind of stepped up to that, not realizing now that, so you were asked to cut the weight, and then he ended up not cutting any weight.
He not cutting. So, but they were some of the hardest hitters I ever fought, and he was one of the hardest hitters the hardest hitter I ever fought. But actually I weathered the storm and came out, you know, without injuries, you know. So, and then just a couple months ago, I fought another guy from Suriname called Mokro. Mokro, I could have beat Mokro, but the problem with Mokro is that he started hitting me illegal strikes behind my head.
Behind your head, okay, yeah.
I don't know if you saw that one.
I didn't see that one, no.
He was supposed to actually get a warning in the first one, and then he did it in the second rounds, which they was supposed to deduct a point
after that,
and they didn't. So they ended up stopping the fight and said I couldn't continue. So which I couldn't because it's a head strike from behind the head.
And this was in Suriname as well?
That was in Suriname.
Okay. Well, I guess that, I mean, don't want to
Don't
throw
fight
anybody
in
under the bus,
Suriname.
but no, not in Suriname. But I mean, there's always this kind of home field advantage if you have judges and officials from the country and you're fighting a countryman. You really had to look out for some of these things.
Yeah, I mean, I guess all that's in sports because that's what it sounds like. You know what I mean? Because just you tell me about our cotton thing. How I know about that personally, 40 pounds that rail in 1 month.
Yeah, and then the refereeing and the judging as well. Like it's pretty known and just from like Taekwondo circles. If you take a West Indian team to Europe, you have to frazzle them Europeans for them to give you that match. They will, and I've never been there, so I'm just selling it like I buy it from people who went over there and compete. They will always find a way to give the other guy a point.
You have to smoke
because
them.
you have to marinate them and smoke. Not even marinate them. You have to smoke them.
Yeah.
Because if you marinate them too long, they might say that he win.
Or you had to flash cook them.
Yeah,
When you're done, they spoil.
Yeah, you can't
eat as much.
yeah. So because the attitude I've been told is who is these West Indians to come over here and try to beat us now?
Well, these country bumpkins.
These
And if they fight too
colonials.
close, no way.
Yeah,
they'll
they
win
will.
that fight.
So
No way.
it's just kind of the riskier run fighting internationally, fighting people on their home soil. So fighting international and even local. So the Manswell fight, you said he took on short notice. What was the shortest notice fight that you ever took?
Well, the shortest notice fight I ever took was against Dwayne Hinds.
Right, okay, yeah, I know Dwayne.
Yeah, it was a boxing match. I think he trained out about 6 or 8 months for it. I haven't trained since for the past 2 years or so.
Wait, stop. What do you mean by haven't trained in 2 years?
Right, so this was when?
I think that was around 8 to 10 years ago. Something around there. We were in the process of putting up the boxing ring. And around that time, I didn't train for the past 2 or 3 years, so I put on a lot of weight. I was fat and bigger, you know.
I thought you mean no, you ain't trained in 2 years. So I like, what am I doing wrong? Send my meal plan, you know.
And Dwayne, his fighter, I think, didn't come. And they asked, Box Support was provoking Ramutan, saying, you feel Ironman could be doing that? And he said, yeah, man, for sure. And he said, well, Ironman, come. Your fight Dwayne? I say, yeah. He said, well, go man and rest. And I was putting up the boxing ring, so the fight was another day. And I went home, went by the doctor, do my medicals, went home, rest, come back, and whoop Dwayne Hinds.
Smoked him.
Marinate him.
So hold on. So you were helping erect the ring, and they asked you today for tomorrow, you're willing to take a boxing fight.
Sure, no problem.
And you hadn't trained in 2 or 3 years.
It's like, cutting skin in your spare time. Like,
like riding a
let me
bike.
tighten this man up real quick for tomorrow, you know?
To me, it was a piece of cake, so
Piece
I
of
didn't
cake,
So
Dwayne. Whoa.
So before we go too far down the road, now Dwayne Hinds is a respected fighter.
He is.
Not by you.
Do not do me that, please.
All right, go ahead.
No. Dwayne is one of the MMA, I would say, pioneers in Trinidad and Tobago. He's one of the top ones to come out. He's since emigrated, I believe. So, but I didn't know that he was a boxer. I didn't know that he boxed as well.
Yeah.
But what was the weight disparity? Because I know Dwayne also fights at like 180, 185, something like that. And there's no way you were weighing 185.
No, I was like about 240, somewhere around there.
Oof, all
I
right.
was 240, and he was like about 180, 85, somewhere around there.
Okay, so he did, but he also, so when you're fighting on short notice, not only does the short notice opponent have to accept, but the person who has now trained for, like I say, maybe 6 months for someone else also has to accept the fight. So it's a pretty ballsy move to accept today for tomorrow a fight with a well-established martial artist who outweighs you by, you say, maybe 60 pounds.
That
right?
is 100% fair. And I am going to say on camera, Dwayne, I respect you because if I was 185 pounds, there's no way you're getting me to fight this guy because like when we was like, yeah, talk us through your losses and then I thought Batman would be mixed up inside there, like I was Stephen in Gotham and Batman like
just mucking a cape come and try and stop me. It's like, Brez, do you not know who I am?
Actually, Dwayne was one of the most feared fighters actually at his times, around that time. So everybody that they asked wouldn't dare go in the ring with him. But he is a respectable fighter, but as my friend now say, not
Yeah, that's a way out of his weight class. I mean,
tell
let's be
nobody in
real.
Trinidad here to really match up to say, they ain't ready yet.
And you are already a skill fighter in your weight class, so that's...
And in that art as well. I mean, boxing and MMA are two very different things. I know Dwayne to be an MMA fighter and primarily a grappler.
Yeah.
Now, I could be wrong, but the couple cuff fights that I saw him fight, they were quick, but it was grappling primarily.
Yeah.
So he goes to ground a lot. I mean, is he
Yeah,
a
he's
decent striker?
primarily a wrestler. I mean, he has hands. I mean, he was boxing, so he would. But
Yeah,
but
but we
no,
know how that turned
Yeah,
out.
but I powder puff because when he hitting this is iron and that's why it's called my iron.
actual Iron Man. Actual Iron.
Okay.
So,
TM.
Nah, but just in all fairness, like, I don't think that Dwayne had a very good chance of winning that fight anyway, and he still accepted, so that's cool.
That's what I'm saying. I
Shout
mean,
out, man. Shout out.
even the other fighter who is also accepting on short notice, it takes a lot of stones to do that.
Facts.
So,
no, but Dwayne had more condition than me because I didn't train in
well,
like 2
naturally,
years.
because he'd been training.
I just used experience on him. And actually weight, of course, to be pressing on him.
Of
or
course,
something.
yeah, you kind of lean on them and old boxing tactics. All right, so that's another mad scene. Today for tomorrow, last minute fight. So training Muay Thai in Thailand. Take me through that process. How you ended up getting there, and what it's like training Muay Thai in the home of Muay Thai.
All right, well, we were in Montpellier, France, where I was training under Senpai Boon had a school in Montpellier. He originally from Thailand. He was a good fighter, over 250 fights. I think he had one loss. And they were recruiting fighters to go to train in Thailand because I was training under his school at the time. And then we went to, forget the name of the little town we had gone. We ended up going up. It's a nice little river where we went up and we ended up being on a beachfront. But the school was there and we had to train like 3 times for the day. 4 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, and then at 6 in the night or so. So it was at the time when I don't know about for now, but at the time when I went in 2007 was a different time. When I came back home, I was certified as a Muay Thai instructor, and it's basically how it really started for me.
So you were certified as a Muay Thai instructor because of that trip, or like after that training, and then you get certified as a Muay Thai instructor?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I was certified as a
Sweet.
And to be certified in Muay Thai from a school in Thailand, I mean, that's
Credibility. I don't think
that
you
is extreme
could
credibility.
Muay Thai from Thailand. I feel like you
Yeah,
can't do a whole lot better.
I was
than
looking for some like kickboxer, like Jean-Claude Van Damme kickboxer stories, where they string him up and they drop him coconuts on him. Nothing like that.
Nah, not that. Just normal basic
That's just
thing.
Hollywood nonsense.
that. I
That's what the
didn't
movies
feel they
say.
would take the chance of dropping coconuts on me boy here.
That's movies thing, man.
Kicking down banana trees and thing.
So, but that do happen though. That kicking trees, that do happen.
Yeah, it do happen. Yeah, it do happen.
Okay.
Yeah, it have people who do it, But I also was one of the first Muay Thai fighters in this country to do a Ramoy. A Ramoy is what you call a Muay Thai dance, right? It symbolizes the tribe that you come from in Muay Thai. They have different types of Muay Thai, So they have Muay Baran. There's different types of from where you come from the tribe. So they do a Ramoy to symbolize in the rings. It's a dance in the ring it's like cockfighting.
Okay.
A cock do a dance to show that I'm bigger than you, whoever, So it's a different
Show off your warrior spirit.
warrior spirit. That's
Gotcha,
right.
man.
Yeah.
So like, since then, how is it normal for like Trinidadian fighters to go out there, get that training directly from Thailand, or are you like the unicorn, the only one?
I wouldn't say I'm the only one, but is if you have the finances and you have the support. I was lucky to have some people from the U.S. took me abroad to train and study because that was their gift for me because I used to train their sons. Some years ago. So they decided, they say, well, all this skill I have, they wanted to actually get me into the Pride and Lions Den to fight. That time had Pride and Lions Den. So they took me abroad to train, and and actually I was thinking, but I had to come back sadly because I had a daughter. Well, I had kids at the time. I had 3 kids, and my daughter, she used to grieve, so she used to want to eat, and so I had was to come back. So after about a year or so, almost 2 years, I had was to come back to Trinidad.
I can understand that. I feel like that would happen to me too.
Yeah, no, that kind of life definitely not easy to be
With
to
kids.
have a family and But as you were talking about Muay Thai there, I also and you mentioned Lions then, which immediately brings Ken Shamrock and them to mind. As we were talking about your lineage, quite separately, you and I were talking, you also trained with the great Gary Goodridge.
With Gary Goodridge, yeah, because
who is like foundation UFC fighter.
Yeah.
So what was that like?
Well, Gary, anywhere I go to fight, Gary used to come to see me fight because actually he's one of the only he's the only Trinidadian ever reached the UFC. Mm-hmm. So we actually met in Tobago, on the road to Tobago in the boat, and I was like, "That's Gary Goodridge," and his wife was like, "Yeah, that's Gary," and I was like, "Okay," and then we started to talk, and then I told him I started to do kickboxing and, I'm getting into the MMA, but I do Muay Thai. And we started to talk. And then when I went away, I went to actually Vandalis Silva School in Canada. Mm-hmm. When I
Next
went.
big name.
Huh?
Next big name,
Yeah.
Vandalis Silva.
And I started to rough up 1 or 2 of the boys and thing in the school. That was in 2000. I was in I went to fight Sancho. And my nephew took me to a school to do some workout and thing, and then I bounced in a Vandalis Silva, but I realized that's his school. And I started to rough up all the guys and them because I'm a little rough now and thing. And he was like, "Well, this man come and rough up my student." And with one little touch, this man just take me down like that, And I almost
hold on. You sparred Vandalis Silva?
Yeah, well, he said, "Well, come, let me do all the thing." And take me and give me a leg lock, and with the leg lock now, I nearly couldn't fight because he ended up damaging my leg, so I couldn't really compete in the Sancho. So I had to fight in the Sancho with an injured leg because he didn't even realize that he damaged me.
He was probably expecting it.
Vandalis Silva's nickname was the Axe Murderer.
Yeah.
He is one of the, Kenneth was just mentioning Pride. He was one of the boogeymen in Pride. This man would fight anybody. He'd fight in 3 different weight classes, open weight class. He's
an animal.
Very
He's
bad.
a real animal.
Yeah. He was one of them proper killers from foundation MMA days. Vibes.
Guys, this is a pretty special episode because usually you will never see emotion from Franz, but this is
and I full on fanboy right
this
now.
is kind of his thing.
Train with Gary Goodridge.
Just
sparred Vandalis Silva. After he had to come and pick up his boys who you were beating up.
Train with Gracie, and that family is
legends.
a legendary lineage of jiu-jitsu fighters.
Well, not even just that, but if your MMA would not be what it is today without the Gracie family and them starting UFC and to market basically Gracie Jiu-Jitsu to the world. And that's where when did Gary fight in UFC?
Gary fought in the first couple of UFCs.
So in mid-90s?
Yeah, the first, I think it's the first 4 to 5 ones. First 4 to 5. He was one of the beginners.
Yeah, so proper foundation of MMA kind of thing. When they used to market it as...
No weight class.
Yeah, no weight class, no specialties, no rules.
I saw some clips of the early...
Dreadman getting the teeth kicked out in the cage.
That was a real UFC.
Yeah, the referee was real slow in those fights too. It's like, still alive, go on.
But did he die? No, he didn't die.
So we know where the man comes from. What's in store for the future? What are we gonna see you in, man?
Well, to be honest with you, I have I have 4 belts right now, right? 4 title belts, which is the Pan American Kickboxing, the Muay Thai belt from Aruba. I have the National Championship belt in Trinidad and Tobago that I hold for many years, and also have a Sancho belt, the first ever Sancho belt.
The national belt for Trinidad is in kickboxing as well. Okay.
The next belt I'm looking to go for is in cuff.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Cuff.
Throw some
And-
MMA in there. Yeah.
But
We like that.
I don't think like Adam and I want to call him out. So I will call out somebody and see if they will take the
Let's
fight.
do it.
You understand, you know?
Do you have a mic in front here? Do
Yeah,
it.
well,
do it.
the
Let's
man
do
I
it,
want to
man.
call out is Puny because Dwayne Hinds said that
Right. Okay.
you know, we fought in boxing once. He claimed he beat me, which the whole world see. So now I want to go into his world and take him at MMA. He too light for me. I'll pick him up and drag him like a rag. You know?
Tell me
Okay,
that.
so-
Don't tell me that you just called
few
Dwight.
Dwayne.
Don't tell me you just called Dwayne. Dwight just stick in my head, but Dwight.
You know?
Don't tell me that you just called Dwayne Puny.
No, Dwayne's nickname is Puny.
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah, his nickname is Dwayne Puny Hinds. I do
Yeah.
not know why he's a big man, dread. Like if you ever see Dwayne, he is
Okay.
rigged up. But for whatever reason, his nickname is Puny. I don't understand it.
All right. Kind of sucks, but
But yeah, like I said, I don't understand it.
I
But
can dig it, I can
however,
dig
a
it.
couple of things just happened there. So, Dwayne, you just get a call out. You heard it here first, Laymans Project. This episode is just getting better. But you mentioned that Dwayne is actually a little undersized for you, though. So that would be what, a catch weight, a open weight?
Well,
Is there an open weight title and cuff? Adam, you need an open weight title and cuff, I guess, because things
no,
happening
well,
here.
actually, Dwayne is actually the best fighter in Trinidad, as we know, as the best MMA. I was known as the best striker. So we want to see the best of the best. Yeah, so if he willing to accept it, because, I mean, he doing some good work actually on social media, and I doubt he will take that call because...
I mean, I
as
feel
an
he learned
animal,
his lesson. He learned his lesson the last time.
He
because-
learned his lesson.
Well, I mean,
learned his
also
lesson.
he's in Canada now, because I know
Yeah.
he's left the country. So I mean, it's a big jump, but
Yeah, that is. That
And
is
and you know what's the bad part? The last time I didn't even have to train, so I don't think I had to train this time.
yeah, so
You know?
I just do. I feel like you didn't plan to really pop this off the ground because. So you're saying you're training now as opposed. Well, we can all see that you're training now.
Weights,
As
that's
opposed to-
weights.
Weights, all right. I mean,
Strikes.
all right.
so when was your last fight? We'll definitely
Last-
swing back around to this.
My last fight was about 4 months ago in Suriname.
Right. So you are actively training and still competing.
I mean, yeah, you're still pretty much
at,
in
at
weight.
50 year old, yeah.
50 years old.
Because my question was gonna be before Vaughn brought it up, like, all right, 50 years old, you have your school, and then I assume coaching is your thing, but you still actively fighting and
Calling out, man.
And I'll be fighting Dwayne Hinds close to 51 because in January I'll be 51.
Well,
this
what,
is-
what you waiting all the way to January for? Because I happen to know that there's a coffee event in November.
Well, that is why I'm calling him out now.
All right, so close. Right, okay, cool.
So that's why I'm saying,
So we lay the table here, Vono. So there's a
Nah, he ain't coming. He ain't
there's a
coming,
coffee
so he
event
ain't coming to fight.
in November that I will be commentating on. So if
He is
if
not
this-
leaving
if-
Canada
To come here to
to come and
fight.
get
So there-
smoked.
if this came out on this platform and I end up commentating for this fight, that's mind blowing thing. Vibes. So we
You heard
gonna
it first.
You heard it first.
We'll get the
I calling him out, but he ain't coming. I sure.
yeah, exactly. They'll put a camera on me and I will be Rogan.
I sure he not coming out because Dwayne know what he feel the last time and he wouldn't want to feel that again, you know? Actually, the person who gave me the name Ageless Warrior is Dwayne, you know?
Oh, serious?
But he find I ain't getting old. You know, they say I was a vampire living in a fridge, in a coffin, you know? So
Well, he could come and test that then.
let him come and see.
But as we talking ages, how old is Dwayne?
Yeah, I want to know what the weight difference, the age difference. Let me see what the handicap.
Dwayne, I feel like Dwayne is in his 30s. He's younger than me,
Yeah.
I think.
Same legs, so don't matter.
Nah, wait, that is
Right. So,
you. That's a youth man.
No,
you,
no,
you picking. It sounds now like you're picking on the man.
no, but as an old man, if it is I am 50 years old and a young boy can't beat me, it don't make sense. The only place, if Dwayne take this fight, the only place I wouldn't be doing it is on the eye. Because I want him to see what he getting.
Okay, so Dwayne,
I am not able.
I'm telling you right now, if you make another ballsy move and accept this insurmountable challenge
That'll be the
and
end of
happen
your
to
career.
win, Dwayne, I'm putting out an episode just for you. this
Yeah,
episode,
we'll definitely have Dwayne on the podcast
Yeah,
anyway
yeah,
because this
yeah,
is
yeah.
real vibes. But
I
yeah,
want to
this-
hear what Dwayne said, but you have to win it, Dwayne, just by the way.
Yeah, and this we'll have to get this out before the actual episode come out because this is real bad.
Yeah. We'll bump it
An
up.
actual Bachannal episode, yes. What a
Yeah.
thing. Ooh, that was good, boy. We get into the meat real early.
That'll be the end of his career, though. You would never think about stepping in the ring again.
Well, I thought he'd retired. So you're calling him out of retirement, basically.
Actually, last year was supposed to be my retirement fight after I fight Manswell. But when I realized I'm not feeling like 50, I feel like I was 25, 30 still, you know? I could have a couple years still. So I decided to call out all the guns now.
Yeah, go out with a bang. Yeah.
I going out with a bang, so let me call out and I want to be known as the oldest fighter ever passed through. I
The
want to leave
ageless
a legacy in Trinidad.
Well, I feel like if this fight does come to fruition, you would have likely be the oldest fighter in a cuff cage. I don't think anybody fighting in cuff at 50.
For real?
At 50,
I mean, yeah, 50 is kind
50
of.
you would generally be slowing down and coaching. But, I mean, Ageless Warrior here, still looking to crack some skulls.
I wouldn't lie, really. I 100% doubt it. Like, when you say you was 50, I was like, wow. I thought that I used to look good for my age, but you get your big. Yeah,
It's grace of God.
facts.
As well as training and eating well and
Trend.
beating up people, drinking the souls of your enemies, you know, that kind of thing. Drinking the tears of your enemies.
Just kidding, guys.
No, it's fight to life. I mean, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, because I want, honestly, I want to see, you know,
No, get us
I want to
in
see
the mix
Dwayne in the
one time.
comments on YouTube. I want to see Atalon, yeah?
That would be real bad.
I want to see people, boy, that old man can't beat me. You know what I mean? That is why I want to, yeah.
They'll
So
see.
before we get there, Kenneth, you have any presence on social media at all?
On Facebook, actually. Just Facebook, Instagram.
Facebook and Instagram. What's your name on Instagram?
Where- yeah.
It's Kenneth Bishop. Yeah, it's just Kenneth Bishop.
He's a real old school.
Yeah, at the old school, yeah.
No nickname. Now we know. Kenneth Bishop on Instagram, Kenneth Bishop on Facebook.
On Facebook.
All right, cool. So what, like open or
Yeah, it open.
sweet? I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna check that out tonight because you know I love Bachannal.
All right. So the next stage in your competitive career, you want to be a cuff title. You done call out the man, Dwayne Puny Hinds. So we're looking for that in cuff in November.
Okay.
For sure. Fingers crossed. Coaching wise, so your school, it started 2007, you said.
2000.
How has that been? That transition from fighter to coach to running a school, which is our business. So how has that been for you?
Well, in 2007, when I started my school, I started for like more street kids. My school used to be like more, I didn't used to charge a fee because only certain people who could have paid. I had students who couldn't even afford it. And they were doing excellent, very well. We were reigning at a certain time together with Fine Line School. And then where I was renting, where I had my gym, they sold the building, so I had was to close. And that was like in about 2009, somewhere around there. And from since that, I was just like more going to other dojos, training other schools, helping out. But right now, I just what I'm doing right now is just training my kids. I have 3 sons, and I train them right now. So they win their first couple of fights so far. One is 4 years old, one is 10 years old.
Okay, so you focusing on your direct lineage
Yeah.
and bringing them up in the fighter's life. Now, as you mentioned, training street kids, quote unquote, over, I believe it started happening over COVID. The rise of these kind of street challenges kind of thing. I remember there was like kickboxing in C-lots and that kind of thing.
I wasn't that actually.
You were involved in
Any
that.
boxing, yeah.
So that was going to be my question. Like, what do you think of the rise of that? Because I think it's brilliant that, this is a way for kids to learn some discipline, learn some skills, as well as settle your beefs in the ring and leave it there. No need to bring no gun into this thing. Detour your fight, big man to big man, who win, who lost, and then you leave it there. So you say you were involved in that. So how were you involved in
Yeah,
that?
I was involved in it. Actually, I trained Swappy at a time.
I was gonna say that.
When
I saw when Swap was training to fight somebody.
he was trained to fight this guy, and then he left my training and went on to boxer pots, and then we had a little dispute with it, and I told him, I say, okay, no problem. I say, as the man who training you and you're going with boxer pot, I say, well, all right, if you disrespectful, no problem. So I decided to train squeezy ranking for him now. So while I was training squeezy ranking, Swappy called me. He said, Dan, you're training this man to kill me, because you know why I give. And they called squeezy ranking to a little friendly little fight, That time squeezy drinking whole day. And they had a little match.
Kind of halfway thing.
Yeah, a little halfway thing. And set up Squeezy to get a little lash, but Squeezy could have beat him real bad, Because Squeezy is a very good fighter. Even though he's an artist, he's a very good fighter. He's very strong,
Okay.
Good fight, trust
So
me.
that fight actually came off Swappy and Squeezy Rankin.
It came off, but
Sort of.
It wasn't. It was nothing big because I
Yeah.
was seeing the hype leading up to the fight, and the fight itself I didn't see it
Yeah.
because it wasn't like a big thing. Yeah.
So, but that's a very good thing that they were doing in the Sealers. But I think in order we could curb crime if we want to, We have enough schools here to help these street kids. Even get the ministry could get involved with the Sealers boxing. We have good schools like Fine Line.
Fine Line, as I mentioned, yeah.
Southern Warriors. We have schools like Peaceful Warriors where the ministry could step in and help
Help subsidize for some of these kids
because
that can't
most of
afford.
they can't afford.
And it's distracting too because if you training, let's just say you're training 4 in the morning, 9 in the morning, and 6 in the night. You don't have time to go and thief nobody thing or get into no trouble.
No, but it focuses you.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
no
a
doubt,
stepping
martial
stone.
arts is a way to, not just for discipline, but if you have something to train towards, you're not liming the night before.
Yeah, because you're training now, and remember your coach is like, "Hey, I believe you could enter this and so you have a journey. There's something in the future. You know what I mean? Whereas just sitting down in the corner, you had to make $1 today, and then tomorrow you had to make $1 again, and then the next day after that it's like endless.
You know,
I mean, that's,
I was glad to see the rise of all these kickboxing promotions. There's Rabs, and there's Evolution now has kickboxing pretty regularly.
Rooftop Rumble.
Rooftop Rumble. There's Fine Line puts on their own fights as well.
They
Don't
had one. I had one last year, August the 31st, the night before the holiday. That was the Ironman event. That's when I fought Manswell.
Right. Yeah, I'm really glad to see the rise of kickboxing more now because it's a good avenue for local competition, for keeping yourself out of trouble, but there's avenues outside. You could travel the world fighting, and making some money.
And also I think it's safe to say you could afford to invest in what we have right here because you're hearing some of the names calling, and these are people who born and grew in Trinidad or train with this one or associated with that one, So I feel like again, and sport is something that's really kind of underfunded in Trinidad and Tobago, but we have talent.
We have endless natural talent in Trinidad. We know that already.
Yeah, this is just yet another case of that.
Yeah, and with more and more combat sports at least being tried out at the Olympic level, because all of them have their own international and world championships, but like Olympics is everybody want to go to the Olympics. And with more and more combat sports being tried, so they tried karate. I think they did kickboxing this Olympics as a test.
Yeah, it's
sport.
definitely a boxing.
But they have Muay Thai now.
Right. So is Muay Thai they were trying out this year at the Olympics?
Yeah, this year.
Okay, I haven't seen it. Well, as we're talking kickboxing and Muay Thai kickboxing, why don't you elucidate, Vaughan, on what the difference is?
Muay Thai is called the 8-limb style, which is where you use the shins, the elbows, the knees, right, and the hands. So that's called the 8-limb style. Likewise, kickboxing. Kickboxing is just normal. You have different types of kickboxing now. So you have low kick kickboxing and high kick kickboxing. So Muay Thai and kickboxing is very similar, but just you eliminate the knees and the elbows.
Muay Thai eliminates the normal kickboxing
Kickboxing,
eliminates
So
the knees and the
so
elbows.
like Dutch style kickboxing,
Yeah.
there's no elbows and no
No
knees.
elbows and no knees. So that is just the difference between them.
So the Muay Thai is the one where
Yeah,
Muay Thai is on back.
okay,
Muay Thai is
okay.
mean.
That is the one that
Beautiful.
looks
Yeah.
It is
real
a
scary.
beautiful
Yeah.
style.
So in
Now,
a-
what about the art of 9 limbs? You ever tried Lethway?
Well, the 9 limbs. When I did Muay Thai, I did Muay Baran Muay Thai, and both Muay Thai is the same 9 limb style, right? The 8 limb style, I mean, right? But I didn't. The only time I ever use minus the 8 limbs is, but I use Muay Thai is in Suriname, but we didn't fight using the elbows. We didn't
okay.
use the elbows.
But you use knees.
We use knees.
Right.
You know?
No, because Lethway, you're allowed to headbutt.
Yeah.
Lethway
that's-
is...
so that's why-
You know me, I was like,
Exactly.
9
So
limbs,
what's-
so that's
what's the ninth limb?
either belly or head, but that's what I see.
Nah, Lethway, you're allowed to headbutt. And Lethway, you can get knocked out and the fight ain't done yet.
Yeah.
And they'll wake you up and they'll give you 2 minutes and like, let's go again. Because it's a time limit. Like, if you survive to the end of the round, it's a draw. Like, there are no judges, right?
So you're getting your ass cooked, and you fall on the ground, butt up, knock out. You're like, hey, you good? All right,
2
let's
minutes.
go.
Let's go again. No,
Take
Chad,
2 minutes.
Lethway is extreme, and it's probably because of how violent it is. I mean, combat sports is violence, right? But because of how unhinged Lethway can get, like, you get knocked out and then you stand back up and fight more, it would prevent it from going mainstream. But look up a Lethway fight and just see how sick it is. It real bad. I was just wondering if, as you were down there, I forget what country Lethway is from. I'm going to sound very ignorant about that. But as you were in that region, if you ever tried it.
No. But there's traditional, and back in the old days was traditional Muay Thai where they just use the cord. But now, because of the high demand for it now, they have it as a sport, right? That everybody could try. So that is why they changed from the cords now
They
and
have
using
gloves.
the gloves.
Yeah.
Gloves.
You know,
Yeah, so
to
you
make
don't,
it more look less
More
barbaric.
mainstream, yeah.
Yeah, because that's where the money is.
Them cords will cut up your face, something.
Yeah.
And when you think that some Muay Thai fighters have like 200, 300 career fights, you need your face.
Yeah, but you didn't see how them fellas look out.
Yeah, and then they're retiring by 35 because they've been fighting since they were 6.
Yep.
Brutal stuff. Boy.
Hey.
All right, so so Thai Warriors, you had said you had to close down. So strictly speaking, there's no Thai Warriors school. It's you still train.
I still train
Fighters.
I still train fighters, but there's home base. No,
Right. Okay.
I just like mobile move.
Right. Okay. I
So
hear.
you might link up with somebody in a gym.
Yeah,
And okay, that's cool.
but I have fighters outside. So.
And if anybody wants to hire your services, they could check you on Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook.
And-
So most of them have my number, so they mostly call. So
But
right
for those
now,
that don't have your number, I don't know if you want to.
Well, wouldn't ask him to give out his number.
I mean,
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
okay.
unless you want to.
Unless you want to.
but I train like Peaceful Warrior School also. I do work with them. Some
Doing
Muay
okay,
Thai.
call.
Yeah. So what you did? I was
So
doing
what you
call,
did, man.
Yeah, so I
Heard you
was
call
doing
my
call.
name, man.
The only thing I was doing to come in for is to tell me, yes,
You
I
accept
take any
the
fight.
Right. Well, Dwayne, Kenneth looking out for your call. Hey, this is real exciting to me, This is real bad.
Yeah, I mean, I naturally like stuff like this, and if I don't want it to feel like we bias or anything. Dwayne, if you want to come on the show and speak your piece, because obviously, like, you are respected by Kenneth, but this is all part of the game. So if you want to come and speak your piece, just get at us somehow, find a way, and you can try
At
to.
Laymans Project on Instagram.
Oh,
Hit us a
Laymans.
message.
Yeah.
Yeah, no apostrophe.
You could comment on this video on YouTube because we're gonna
Oh,
try
yeah.
to get this out.
Bag
as
of
well.
bald-headed mother.
Yeah, you.
But But nah, big up Dwayne Hinds anyway. He's a
man,
bad
big
man.
up Dwayne Hinds every time. It sounds like he's a bad mama jammer.
No, he is. I saw his last fight. He frazzled that man. So, well, the last fight I saw him fight, which was about 10 years ago, 8 years ago, MMA. Nah, he really felt it didn't make it out of the first round. So that's why, like, this genuinely exciting to me. Like, nah, for this to come out of the show, man, check our box there. Yes.
Sweet.
Yeah. Well, I feel like us there, you know. I
I
mean,
remember I following your lead, you know. So
yeah,
you just let me know. Yeah?
we get a lot in a little bit of time.
Sweet. No worries.
Yeah.
So, Kenneth, really nice having you on the show, man. I just want to say, so it's what's your social again?
Kenneth Bishop.
It's Kenneth Bishop.
Just Kenneth Bishop, yeah. Instagram, Facebook. Because personally, I would like after this that you just go ahead into your retirement and do your training, because I especially like how he was doing that kind of, the kind of pro bono work for street kids or whatever the case may be. Yeah, I like that. I really, really like that. And I would like somebody to see a fight just like that lovely American family, and maybe put a little funding and get the Thai Warriors. Yeah. Because imagine what you have to give to just decide to train these people, and I'm going to imagine that the training is taxing for your body itself, and you're still doing it. I just don't want you to be like unsung, because we definitely do. Well, France obviously, but we definitely rate you or everything you're doing. Laymans Project is 100% behind you. And we wish you all the success, man, whatever you decide to do in the future. And you can come back here anytime you want to kick Dwayne's ass again in the future.
Any project you have coming up, you could come and lay it out on the Laymans Project. But right now, the project is Dwayne Hinds at Cuff. And it'll be Cuff 22. That's a big event, boy.
Timely.
Yeah, timely. 10 years of Cuff, man. Big up Cuff.
Big up Cuff, man. Big up Cuff. Big up, man like Kerry Grant. Big up man like Franz, who is associated with Cuff.
Part of the Cuff team. That was a lot of fun.
That's actually...
That's another episode.
Yeah, we could talk about that on another episode, man. That's some big stuff going on. So, you already know what it is. Tough.
Actually, Cuff will make history in this fight, trust me.
It will.
It will make history.
For the 20th event, to have you and Dwayne.
We'll have
hooray indeed. Thank you, random people outside.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, guys.
Thank you, ambient noise.
We appreciate it. Nice,
timely.
So that was our time. Tough, Franz, Kenneth, Ironman. All right.
Ageless Warrior.
So you can contact Kenneth on his social. It's Kenneth Goodrich.
Bishop.
Kenneth Bishop. Gary Goodrich.
Yeah,
good recollection. Kenneth Bishop. Instagram, Facebook, Laymans Project. Like, share, subscribe.
Hit
the bell button.
Yeah,
for
you already know.
notifications.
You already
comment
know.
all your Bachannal comments in the comments, please.
Comment what you want to see. Who you want to see on the Laymans Project. You know what I mean? Y'all don't do stuff like that. What do you want to see us talk about? You know what I mean? Because we could. I think between Franz and myself, we can get just about anybody in Trinidad and Tobago on the show within reason. You know? Yeah. Because we have some actually really, really dope stuff coming up in the future that I am definitely not even going to hint at. Because I personally can't wait for those episodes.
But also comment how you think Kenneth gonna beat Dwayne, or how you think Dwayne gonna beat Kenneth.
If you know Dwayne,
please chain up this fight, because
you know Kenneth,
I'm really looking forward to this.
I think we chain up, it's going to be a washout.
No, I want people to chain up the fight to take place.
Not steam, scrambled, smoke, like a proper smoke for hours, just right, seasoned up, yeah. Dwayne.
I really hope this fight comes out this year.
Yeah.
Kenneth, my friend, thank you for being on the show.
Alright, so that's all the time, guys. Peace.
Deuces.